Good evening. My name is Michael Franklin, Sergeant Major from the Plano East Mighty Fine Panther Battalion, and I'd ask that you would please stand and join us while we post the colors and assist us with the Pledge of Allegiance and remain standing until the colors exit.
Color guard, attention! Forward, march! Left, right, left, 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 right, left, left, up, up, right, left, 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 up, right, left, 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 right, left, up, up, left, right, left, up, up. On charge. Color guard up. Left face. Up. Go. Reset. Art.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Order. Art. Right face. Forward. March. Up. 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 Right. Up. 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 Right. Up. 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 Right. Up. 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 Right. Up.
Thank you. You may now be seated.
Good evening and welcome to the 2018 Plano ISD Martin Luther King Jr. Tribute Event. My name is Kevin Moore and I am the 2017 Plano ISD Secondary Teacher of the Year. Next to me is Cody McGregor, the 2017 Plano ISD Elementary Teacher of the Year. Thank you for joining us this evening. Not only are we here to honor the life and achievements of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., but also to celebrate the wealth of diversity we experience here in Plano ISD and the Plano community. In the district alone, 96 different languages are spoken. The richness that comes from students working side by side with others from backgrounds and cultures different from their own is incredibly valuable to their educational experience and to the future of this community. Tonight, we are here to celebrate our wonderfully diverse community and the role it plays in our students' lives as they are creating the future.
Throughout this evening, you will see our elementary writing contest winners along with videos showcasing their pieces written in role of creating our future. These 7 compositions from 2nd, 3rd, 4th, and 5th grade students were chosen by a panel of judges as the top writings out of hundreds of entries. Congratulations to all of our winners. I cannot wait to hear what you've written. But first, we're going to step aside and let our Martin Luther King Jr. Diversity Committee Chairman, Emeritus Dr. Myrtle Hightower welcome you in her own words.
Good evening, and welcome to Plano ISD's 2018 Diversity Celebration, honoring Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Dr. King's legacy is one of love, leadership, and working for the betterment of all people. I am so excited to be part of this legacy in Plano, where we honor and celebrate our extremely talented and highly diverse student and community population. This year's theme reminds us that bright futures begin right here in Plano ISD. Join with me in thanking and congratulating our talented students and the dedicated staff and community members who have worked so hard to make this event possible. Thank you and enjoy the program.
Take a look at the past, compare it to the present, and imagine the future. Now take away everything that Martin Luther King Jr. did, everything Mahatma Gandhi, Rosa Parks, Susan B. Anthony did. Imagine the future. What is it like? Separated, unequal, unfair? Millions of people would still be treated as property, or some even like animals. If a nation is separated, that nation is not equal. Black, white, Hispanic, Asian, Muslim, we are all worth the same value. We are all worth the same. This nation will forever be impacted by these people who took a stand, who were brave enough to fight for us. Those who lie peacefully in their graves, for you, for me, for everyone, have set a path for us to build our future and to set a trail for the generations to come. Even when others fought with hatred and violence, people like MLK and Rosa Parks were able to influence their opponents with love and peace. So always remember to give thanks to those people who changed the past, present, and future. Creating our future.
Good evening. I'm Nancy Humphrey, and as Secretary of Plano ISD's Board of Trustees, it is my distinct honor on behalf of my fellow trustees to welcome you to this community celebration and tribute to Plano's diverse community and to Dr. Martin Luther King, Jr. I'm especially proud of this event in the way that it highlights our Plano ISD students. I want to thank all of the students who have helped us create this amazing program. Let's give them a hand right now. Tonight, you were greeted as you walked through the door with an energetic performance by Rice Middle School's jazz band, directed by Josh Reyna. Please join me in giving these talented students a round of applause. I'd also like to thank Williams High School for hosting this wonderful event again this year. Many thanks to Principal Gloria Martinez and her staff for all of their assistance and hard work in preparation of this evening. As we celebrate the inspirational leadership of Dr. King, we can't forget to mention our district and community leaders who are with us tonight. Joining with me tonight are my fellow school board members and trustees, and I am honored to introduce them. I invite each of them to stand, and please remain standing until they've all been introduced. They are Trustee Angela Powell. You have to stand. And it looks like we might have an empty seat, so I will also let you know that this evening, Board President Missy Bender, Vice President David Stolley, Trustee Tammy Richards, Trustee Dr. Yoram Solomon, and Trustee Jerry Chambers were unable to attend the event this evening, and they send their regrets. Thank you, Angela. Also joining us tonight from the city of Plano is Mayor, well, maybe not yet. Is he here yet? Mayor Harry LaRoseliere. Pardon? Not here. My mistake. Well, we wish he was here. Along with Mayor Pro Tem Rick Grady. City Council Member Angela Miner. And thank you for being here this evening. Plano ISD is fortunate to have outstanding district leadership under the direction of Interim Superintendent of Schools, Sarah Bonser. Sarah, please stand along with your cabinet members. Our cabinet members are Dr. Katrina Hasley, Assistant Superintendent for Academic Services, Randy McDowell, Assistant Superintendent for Business Services, Susan Modisette, Assistant Superintendent for Campus Services. Dr. Carrie Cooper, Assistant Superintendent for District Services. Dr. Beth Brockman, Assistant Superintendent for Employee Services. Carla Oliver, Assistant Superintendent for Government, Community, and Planning Initiatives. And Dan Armstrong, Assistant Superintendent for Technology Services. Now, this event would not be possible without the work of the Plano ISD MLK Planning Committee under the direction of Dr. Myrtle Hightower. Would members of the MLK Planning Committee please stand so that we may recognize you? Each year, students from all grade levels participate in the annual Plano ISD Martin Luther King Jr. Art Contest. Finalists are chosen from 4 categories divided by grade and are recognized at this event with a certificate and a gift card. Board President Missy Bender, along with Art Center of Plano Executive Director Susie Sloan Jones and Plano ISD Director of Fine Arts, Kathy Cudis, were the judges for this contest. I know from experience that that is not an easy job, very difficult. There were so many wonderful entries. This contest always yields amazing artwork from our incredibly talented children. And you saw on the video samples of their art. And hopefully you got to see it down in the gallery. And if you didn't before, swing by there at the end and you can see those. Thank you to our fine arts team and all of our teachers who make this contest happen. Also, a special thank you to the Plano ISD Education Foundation for generously sponsoring the gifts provided for our top 4 finalists. Now it is my pleasure to announce the finalists for this year's contests. Students, as I call your names, please come up to the stage where the Plano ISD Visual Art Coordinator, Laura Grundler, she'll be joining me up here in a moment, she will greet you. Please remain on the stage until all have been recognized. All right, finalists in the kindergarten to 2nd grade division, Jotvik Verisetti from Wells Elementary School. You can please come forward. He's in 1st grade. Okay. Finalist in the 3rd to 5th grade division, Sandra Aguirre, Hager Elementary School. Finalist in the 9th to 12th grade division, Katie Lau from Jasper High School. And last but not least, our finalist in the 6th to 8th grade division and winner of this year's contest, Harrison Klotz, Murphy Middle School. All right, I know we just applauded, but please join me in applauding all of these outstanding student artists. Thank you, students, and thank you again to the Plano ISD Education Foundation.
Dear Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., we can still learn from the past. Instead of fighting with fists, you use non-violent methods. Even though your house is bombed and you're threatened, you did not stop. In the past, you were strong and brave. Now in the present, you made the world a better place. In schools now, white kids and black kids can go to school together. Black people can go to places where white people go. There are no more signs that say whites only. Our president looks better than past because of you. In the future, I want to also make the world a better place. I want to make a bright future for the world, like you did. I want to create a world where people don't care about the color of each other's skin. I want everyone to get along and to respect each other more. I want to make it happen. I can strive out hate with love. Love is still the key. Creating our future.
आनन्दनर्तन गणपतिं भावये आनन्दनर्तन गणपतिं भावये परमानन्दनर्तन 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 गणपतिं भावये चिरकरमूलाधार ओंकार गजवदन परमं परमानन्दनर्तन गणपतिं भावये चिरकरमूलाधार ओंकार गजवदनं परमं परमानन्दनर्तन गणपतिं भावये सानन्द मुनीन्द्र गणदुत शिव शङ्कर मानस निलीयमानं सानन्द मुनीन्द्र गणदुत शिव शङ्कर मानस निलीयमानं तन्त्रीलय समन्वित गन्धर्व सारणवराणुगीयमानं तन्त्रीलय समन्वित गन्धर्व सारणवराणुगीयमानं जनमन्दार अनुपम दिव्यगणे वरसुपायमानं जनमन्दार कनकाम्बरधरणं एकदन्तं कनकाम्बरधरणं एकदन्तं कनकाम्बरधरणं एकदन्तं तकधडं तकदधरि तकधडं तकदधरि आनन्दनर्तन गणपति भावये चिरकरमूलाधार ओङ्कार गजवदनं परमं परमानन्द नर्तन गणपति भावये
A day in Washington, a march for equal rights, African Americans engaged in a peaceful fight. A day in Washington, they all gathered at Abraham Lincoln's silent home. A day in Washington, Martin Luther King stood tall and spoke of freedom. A day in Washington, freedom fighters listened with hope to the big dream. A day in Washington, MLK preached his dream so big, a dream of equal rights. A day in Washington, the battle was won for the freedom fighters. A day in Washington, our future was built, generations to come, and unsegregated life. Creating our future.
Honored to introduce tonight's special guest, Dottie Gandy. As an avid supporter of women in business, she is a co-founder of the National Association of Women Business Owners. In June 2014, Dottie was inducted into the National Association of Women Business Owners Hall of Fame. In 2016, the association also awarded Dottie their Susan Hager Lifetime Achievement Award. She has had successful careers as a corporate executive, a business owner, consultant, keynote speaker, and author. Dottie says her proudest moment is being in the crowd in Washington, D.C. when Dr. Martin Luther King made his I Have a Dream speech. That had to be pretty incredible. Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you Mrs. Dottie Gandy.
Okay, for those of you who've just pulled out your mental calculators to determine if I was also present at the Gettysburg Address, I am a very young 78 years old and proud of every one of those years. I grew up in Waco, Texas as a part of a set of identical twins. And Waco was a rather small town then, so identical twins got a lot of attention. And my mother enhanced that by enrolling us in every conceivable dance class that she could so we could be seen in recitals. Well, never mind all the other type of stuff, I fell in love with tap dancing. So much so that at 16, when my friends were trying out for cheerleader, I was still passionate about tap dancing. So one day my father, who by the way, my mother graduated from Baylor and my father had a 9th grade education. And it was very important to him that his girls make something of themselves and get an education. So when I was approximately 16 or 17, my father said to me, "So what is it you think you want to do with your life?" And I so proudly said to him, "I'm fairly sure I want to be a tap dancer on Broadway." Well, now, any reasonable father would have been well within his boundaries to have said something to the effect, "Are you crazy? What makes you think a little girl from Waco, Texas could survive 15 minutes on the streets of New York City? You'll be a waitress," and on and on and on. But he said none of that. What this man said instead was, if you want to be a tap dancer on Broadway, you'll be the best one they ever had. Now, it didn't register with me at the time, the impact of those remarks, although by the time I got to Baylor, I had come to my own conclusion that maybe Broadway was not my destiny. However, when I did graduate from Baylor, I headed off to Washington, D.C. that first summer with a group of Baylor friends, and we all had summer jobs working in D.C. At the end of that summer, I was offered a permanent job by Senator Ralph Yarborough, who was a senator from Texas, and he asked if I would stay on permanently. Well, I thought that was very exciting, so I rushed back home to Waco to pack my bags and get all of my things ready to move to our nation's capital. And my father encouraged me to go to the one bank in Waco and make a modest loan, in his name, of course, to support my first month's rent or whatever. And I went to the bank, and the vice president, because there was one bank in Waco and everybody knew everybody, the vice president said to me, "So exactly what do you want this money for?" And I said, "Well, I'm going to go to Washington, D.C., and I have a job working for a U.S. senator." And this vice president's response was, "What do you want to go to Washington, D.C. for? There's nothing but a bunch of N-words living up there." I could not pack my bags fast enough. And I headed off to Washington, D.C. and started working for Senator Yarborough in the fall of 1962. In August of 1963, he called the staff in and said, "Tomorrow, there's going to be a big event on the mall in front of the Lincoln Memorial. I'm closing the office tomorrow, and while I can't require you to be there, I would certainly like to encourage you to be there." And he himself, along with other senators who were willing to be seen on that dais with Dr. Martin Luther King, was there. And here I was, a young girl from Waco, Texas, standing in the midst of a crowd that was probably larger than Waco at the time. And all I knew was that something very special was going on. And most of you know the story, that it was very clear that when Martin Luther King finished his prepared remarks, the audience had not had enough. They demanded more. And not sure how to proceed, Martin Luther King heard this voice behind him say, "Martin, tell them about the dream," as he had shared with others. And it was at that point that spontaneously Dr. Martin Luther King started into the only part of that address that most of us remember, otherwise known as the "I Have a Dream" speech. I continued working for Senator Yarborough through 1968 when he was defeated, and another person and I, another young woman, we decided we would open our own business. We wanted to help women get jobs that weren't just part-time grocery clerks or whatever else, and so we were going to go and consult with organizations on how to best utilize women, because there was a lot of equal employment opportunity legislation coming down at the time, and corporations were unsure about what this meant they needed to do with women. So we decided that we needed to get our name out. But you see, this was in the early 70s, and in the early 70s, women could not be members of the JCs, or the Chamber of Commerce, or the Kiwanis Club, which was really the best place to do what nowadays we would call networking. I'm not sure that term existed then. And So we said, okay, we know other women like ourselves, 1- and 2-person, maybe 10-person firms. Maybe we could meet in the back room of our office and find out ways that we can support one another in being successful. And so we did. Over a number of weeks, there were a group of about 10 to 14 at any one time, and we decided that we were going to call ourselves the Association of Women Business Owners. I think really we were in the right place at the right time, Washington, D.C. in the 70s when the legislation was coming down. And almost overnight, without even asking, it became the National Association of Women Business Owners. And within a year, we had been invited to the White House to offer some input on how to best support the success of women who wanted to own their own businesses. In fact, I was so confident that we could succeed that that business was probably the first of, oh, I don't know, 7 or 8 businesses that I have started over the past few years. And it's interesting, about a year into this process of the National Association of Women Business Owners, a Fortune 500 food retailer in Washington, D.C. was being threatened with a lawsuit because women were paid less in certain departments than others. And so they said, we need to go out and hire ourselves a feminist. And so shortly after starting the National Association of Women Business Owners, I was invited to become the director, we called it the Director of Employee Relations, and it was to coach this organization on how to utilize and promote the women in their ranks, which we did. And in fact, the Washington Post ran a headline on the business page that said, "Giant Food hires its own feminist." Well, I did that for about 10 years. It was an extraordinary career, but then the desire to be on my own again came back. And so for the next probably 5 or 10 years after that, I continued to do my own business, primarily as a consultant, as a speaker, working with organizations on how to utilize the female talent which they had. And that lasted until 1991, when I moved back to Texas to marry. This is one of those stories. I moved back to marry my college sweetheart, whom I had not seen since we had graduated from Baylor some 28 years earlier. So I've been here in Washington, D.C., been here in the Dallas area, and once again, I needed to be doing my own thing, and my favorite book at the time, it had just come out, it was a bestseller, and it was called The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People by Dr. Stephen R. Covey. And in the first editions of that book, there was an 800 number on almost every page. I would dial that 800 number, and I said, "Hi, where are you located?" And they said, "Utah." And I said, "I think you need to be in Texas too. Why don't you let me set up an office for you here?" And they said, "What a great idea. We have about 150 resumes so far. We're considering about 10 cities, of which Dallas is one." But you see, if I could be successful as a tap dancer on Broadway from Waco, Texas, I knew that I was destined to open the first regional office for what was then called the Covey Leadership Center, and I did. The designation went to Dallas to open the first prototype center. And so I spent the next 17 years, full-time and part-time, working for that remarkable man, Dr. Stephen R. Covey. Now here's something that he had in common with Dr. Martin Luther King. Covey had a saying that when you were called to do something big, but it was really, really comfortable to play small, he used to say to us, "It is easier to say no when there is a larger yes burning inside." And so my invitation to you, whether you are the parent or a student or a member of Plano ISD in any form or capacity, I think our obligation is to encourage whatever that yes is inside of our students and our coworkers, so that they too can have a dream to be a tap dancer, or as I saw on the screen, they probably have a lot more noble ambitions than I did at that time. However, some people will say, well, I never had a dad that told me I could do anything I wanted. Well, guess what? I'm standing here and I'm going to say to each and every student or perhaps parent in this audience, you can do whatever you want to. And when you have enough people telling you, no, you can't, you say, yes, I can, because there was this quirky old lady who came and spoke at our meeting, and she told me it was okay to dream big. So here's the message that I want to leave you with. There's no such thing as playing small. I don't think any of us came here for the purpose of playing small. And in my opinion, I'm not sure whether the contributions I made as a woman are any more significant than those of a man with a 9th grade education who told me that I could be anything I wanted. And as evidenced by what we've seen on the screens here tonight, and in this marvelous, marvelous celebration on the remarkable Dr. Martin Luther King, I'm here to say it is much easier to say no when there is a larger yes burning inside. Thank you so much.
Dear Dr. King, like you dreamed of, black and white people are joining together in harmony. The white-only sides have faded away, but there's still racism, hate, and violence in the world. We the people will help change racism and other bad things into good. We will help do good things for bad people, even though they feel hate. In turn, those bad people will feel love and help others, until the whole world feels love. It's like a domino effect, in a good way. So, Dr. King, what I want to say to you is, I have a dream, and that dream is love over hate for future generations. Creating our future. Martin Luther King Jr. created a future for us, to be in a school with all colors from black to brown to yellow. I will create my future by recycling, donating, and encouraging others in my future. I will be as good as a dime. I will be having a great time when I create my future. If it turns out well, then there is one person I want to thank. His name is Martin Luther King Jr., because in his last years, he created a future for us that gave us hope. Thank you, Martin Luther King Jr. Thank you. Martin Luther King Jr. created a future for us.
I'm Misty Tippin, Chairman of the 2017-2018 Plano ISD Diversity Advisory Committee. I'm so thrilled to be here tonight to honor not only the great leader, Dr. King, but also to honor a group of truly inspiring leaders right here in our own community with the presentation of the 2018 Diversity Leadership Awards. This award is coordinated annually by the Plano ISD Diversity Advisory Committee to recognize students, staff, and community members who have shown leadership and commitment in fostering and promoting harmony, respect, acceptance, and understanding among the beautifully diverse cultures within this community. All of our nominees tonight have been invaluable assets to Plano, not only for promoting and embracing diversity, but for their efforts to educate others on diversity as well. Nominees, as I call your name, please join us on the stage. Our 2018 Diversity Leadership Award nominees are Heba Abdegalni, Robinson Middle School. Keiki Bennett, Haggard Middle School. Kathleen Good, Murphy Middle School. Hedgecoax Elementary School PTA, Hedgecoax Elementary School. Hickey Elementary PTA and Multicultural Committee, Hickey Elementary School. Mayor Harry LaRosseliere, City of Plano. McCall Elementary PTA Board, McCall Elementary School. Stephanie Mullins, Armstrong Middle School. Plano's Closet and the PTSA Outreach Committee, Plano Senior High School. Terry Richards, Schimmelpfennig Middle School. Maria Ruse, Armstrong Middle School. Tina Vagine, Davis Elementary School. And Brandon Watts, Huffman Elementary School. Congratulations to all of our nominees. Thank you so much for your commitment to this school district and community. Please join me in one more round of applause for this amazing group. So now I get to announce our winners of the Diversity Leadership Awards. We got a little bit of help from our young friends at Beatty Early Childhood School.
Welcome to the celebration. We are bringing you important news. These are the Diversity Award winners. Be sure to give a big hand. They really deserve it. Honorable mention, Stephanie Mullins. Good job! The first winner is Hiba Elbagani. Next, congratulations to McCall Elementary School PTA, Jacqueline Mazur, Cynthia Boris Harris, PGSA Outreach Committee. Finally, congratulations to Layla Rosley Ear. He's the big guy. Congratulations, everyone! Yay!
I extend my sincere congratulations to all of our Diversity Award nominees and winners. As I call the names of the winners, please come forward to receive your awards from Autry Daniel of the Plano ISD Human Resources Department. First up, I'd like to congratulate our nominee who was named honorable mention, Stephanie Mullins. As the department head for the ESL department at Armstrong Middle School, Stephanie Mullins has a particularly strong skill for developing an inclusive environment within the school so that all English learners are able to take advantage of the wide range of opportunities that exist on Armstrong's campus. This is evident as she works with students, parents, and staff members. She's a vital member of the leadership team as she advocates for her students to pursue their interests, passions, and strengths through appropriately challenging courses. This fall, she led the Multicultural Committee in organizing the campus's first annual Hispanic Heritage Night and has already begun planning a spring multicultural night. This has led many community families to feel comfortable actively participating in their child's school experience. Thank you, Stephanie, for working so hard on behalf of your students. Next up, I'd like to congratulate our individual Diversity Leadership Award winner, Heba Abdelghani. I apologize. In the classroom with her ESL students, Ms. Abdelghani creates a safe environment for her students as they learn to speak English at Robinson Middle School. Students gain a sense of belonging as she creates a family environment in the classroom. She teaches her students problem-solving skills so they can advocate for themselves both inside and outside the classroom. Through her communication with ESL parents and families that are new to the country, they more quickly feel that they are a part of the Robinson community and less reserved about getting involved in their children's school. This has led to an increase in volunteerism on the campus and more parents being a part of the PTA. The implementation of the Robinson ESL Parent Academy, as well as Ms. Abdelghani day-to-day outreach to parents can be greatly contributed to these successes. Thank you, Heba, for your commitment to your students and their families. Okay, now join me in congratulating our Group Diversity Leadership Award honoree this evening, the McCall Elementary PTA. McCall Elementary feels feels extremely fortunate to be a campus represented by several different cultures. There are 35 to 40 different languages spoken on their campus each year. They take pride in and cherish that rich multicultural heritage. The McCall PTA has really stepped up to take the lead in fostering student educational opportunities in cultural awareness and appreciation through community outreach and family events such as Multicultural Night. At this event, students and their families bring food, music, clothing, and artwork to celebrate and educate others on their cultural heritage. This event is designed to help build a meaningful understanding of how we are all connected. Thank you, McCall PTA, for your leadership and promotion of diversity within the school and surrounding community. Our next honoree this evening is Plano's Closet and the PTSA Outreach Committee from Plano Senior High School in the category of Diversity Leadership Service Award. Yes, come forward. This joint effort by Plano Senior High School's PTSA Outreach Committee is spearheaded by Cynthia Flores Harris and Plano's Closet, a student organization sponsored by English teacher Jacqueline Mizior, has worked tirelessly to help provide basic needs to students who find themselves living in challenging circumstances. Jacqueline is the dynamic teacher who has inspired students for the last few years to form and participate in this program. By educating the school community, she has also created an environment where students feel safe to reach out for help. They know they can connect any adult on campus if they have food or clothing needs. Cynthia and the PTSA Outreach Committee do a lot of legwork for this program out in the community. They contact businesses for donations of goods and gift cards and reach out to the PTSA community for donations. They also assemble everything so that students can easily pick up what they need and take it home. Jacqueline and Cynthia provide true leadership in that they inspire others to work and help the Wildcat community. Their selflessness and sheer delight in the results of their efforts inspire others to keep these good works going. Thank you, Jacqueline and Cynthia, for leading these amazing students and volunteers in this effort to take care of our community. And last, but certainly not least, we'd like to honor City of Plano Mayor Harry LaRoselier with the Diversity Leadership Community Impact Award. Mayor LaRoselier is passionate about fostering a sense of community. He views a crucial role of being mayor is to inspire our students, especially our youth, to believe they live in the best city in the nation and to encourage them to give back to their community through services. This is reflected through 2 community initiatives he helped launch: the Nourishing Hope program, which affirms to our food insecure elementary students and their families that they will be provided access to nutritious food when needed throughout the year. And he also helped to implement the Plano Mayor's Summer Internship Program, which has given hundreds of senior high students real-world workplace experience through an 8-week paid internship. Mayor Harry LaRoselier was elected mayor of Plano in 2013. He was sworn in as Plano's 39th mayor and the first African American to be elected to this office. In May 2017, he was sworn in for a 2nd term. Prior to this, he proudly served his community for 6 years as a 2-term city council member. Thank you, Mayor, for all you do to foster a strong community that values its rich and diverse residents. I'd like to ask that the members of the Diversity Advisory Committee please stand. And they're sitting over there. Yeah, it's a little dark, but there they are. If you'll join me in thanking them for the work that they did to select the nominees. And last, I just want to say what an incredible group of nominees that we had this year. Join me one more time in a round of applause for the Mayor LaRoselier and all of our 2018 PISD Diversity Leadership Award nominees and winners.
You dreamed of light and love, but not of darkness and hate. You dreamed of freedom and peace in diversity and debate. You stood up proud and high under the unjust Washington sky, together with the people who gathered for rights towards integration without fight. Finally, you gave your life. Millions of people got inspired. Among them was this little girl believing in all the equal rights. In my school, when the new semester begins, above the entrance there is this sign: "Welcome in all languages worldwide, showing skin tone and culture are not how we're defined." Celebrate annual multicultural night. Everyone in the parade starts shining bright, presenting myself with confidence and a smile, appreciating my friends with respect and delight. Team up with a girl in special PE, enjoy a game of flying frisbee. Even a girl in wheelchair can reach sky high with a twinkle sparkle in her eyes. In the library, Lego bricks pile up high. They are red, blue, green, yellow, black, and white. Ask this question in your mind: how can we create a great scene with only one kind? Don't hate, let's say hi. There's always a better solution than fight. Holding hands with love and open mind, King, me and we can contribute to a better future with pride.
Querido Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., es un placer dedicarte unas palabras de agradecimiento. Tuve la oportunidad de escuchar tu bella historia y lo que lograste con esfuerzo y dedicación para poderlo disfrutar hoy en día. Gracias a ti todos somos tratados e incluidos igual sin importar nuestro color, nuestra raza y nuestro origen. Tus logros han permitido compartir con niños de todos los países del mundo y conocer sus culturas, formas de vivir, sus idiomas y sus comidas. Hace un año me mudé de Venezuela a los Estados Unidos porque en mi país hay muchos problemas como falta de comida, falta de trabajo, violencia y más. Mis padres decidieron venir a este país porque ellos quieren que como sus hijos podamos construir nuestro futuro con todo lo que tú lograste para que todos podamos vivir mejor. Estoy muy agradecida de poder disfrutar de todo lo que pudiste conseguir para todos nosotros los niños de todos colores. Gracias, Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., con todo mi respeto y agradecimiento, Frangeli Zavala. creando nuestro futuro.
Before we welcome our final performance, let's take a minute to recognize our amazing student writing contest winners that we've heard of throughout the evening. Students, as I call your name, please come to the stage where Kevin will greet you. Please remain on the stage until you have all been recognized. Rayanne Abu Al-Azhar, 5th grade, Hedgecote Elementary. Maya Garcia, 3rd grade, Mitchell Elementary. Evelina Lynn, 5th grade, Hahn Elementary. Faiz Masha, 3rd grade, Stinson Elementary. Sydney Naser, 2nd grade, Beverly Elementary. Isabella Wang, 4th grade, Skaggs Elementary. Finally, Franiella Zabala, 4th grade, Daffron Elementary. Let's give these amazing writers another round of applause.
I would like to thank all of you for being here tonight. I thank the community members and the district leaders who helped plan this event, and I extend a special thank you to Dr. Myrtle Hightower. I know we've talked a lot about our future tonight, but I'd like to add that it's Dr. Hightower who created this event 31 years ago and has contributed greatly to the bright future of our students and this community. Please join me for one more round of applause for Dr. Hightower and her committee. Ladies and gentlemen, we have one more treat in store for you before we dismiss this evening. Please be sure to take a look at the MLK art display as you exit tonight. But please, welcome back the Plano East Men's Chorus singing Hakuna Mungu.
of food.